Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to the SanAntonio FC Fancast. I almost said, hey, thank you for calling where I work.
That was awesome. That'll just show you how early it is. Oh my goodness. Thank you for calling.
That's tough. So it is the Saturday morning preview. Royce has still got his sleepy voice on, or stayed out way too late last night voice. Not sure which one that you want to call it.
I'm just sleepy, man. I got my first cup of coffee. Rex and I went to the Spurs game last night, which we did not stay to the end because the Spurs were down 30 at the half. But we had a good time. I'm exhausted. Harry, how are you this morning?
Good. My daughter's out of the house already. My son's out of the house already. So
living the dream.
It is interesting, yeah. With the kids, Anna's at a robotics competition where she's been getting up at between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning and getting home at 10 o'clock. I don't understand that, but hey, that's beyond my pay grade.
Wow.
For that here. And then AJ is working for grandma, earning some easy cash for that here. Good morning, Angler. It's Vamos SanAntonio. Hope we get 3 points against Bob Lilly's Pittsburgh team, and that's what we're here for, to discuss SanAntonio versus Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Let's get the brass tacks. Let's get on task here. Thank you for joining us for this SanAntonio FC preview show for tonight's match against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. This will be the fourth or fifth time that the teams play each other. I think SanAntonio FC is undefeated against Pittsburgh Riverhounds, if I'm correct. We have 1 win and 3 draws, so I think it is 4 times. This will be the 5th. So we'll see if we can continue that unbeaten streak. I'll go through the SanAntonio news, and then I'll throw it off to Harry for some background on Pittsburgh. So with SanAntonio, we're going to start out with the injury report, which is magically 0. We have 0 injured players, which is unbelievable. We even have an addition this week. Joey Batoni is on spring break, so he has joined the roster. We'll see if he's actually at the game. But SAFC did show him on social media in training with the team, and after he graduates in May, he will be joining the team. So that was pretty cool to see. So like I said, keep your eye out, see if he's on the bench or warming up with SAFC during the game. At the same rate, we did get some news on some international call-ups. They're not happening. They're not going to affect this match day roster, but they will affect next week. So it's something to keep an eye on. Shanna Gomez did get called up for the Trinidadian national team. They will take on Cuba along with some other matches. And so he will not be available next week. Mohamed Omar also got called up to the Somalian national team. And I believe they're going to be participating in CAF, Africa. What's
World Cup qualifying.
Called? Is it World Cup qualifying? Okay.
Yeah, this one's the World Cup qualifying.
Okay. I thought it was their what's the big African AFCON is the one
AFCON,
I
yeah,
was thinking.
African Cup,
Um,
but Cup of Nations.
but
So
this is
multiple.
but this is for World Cup qualifying. So he'll be called up. I believe they're going to be playing Guinea as well as a couple other another country or two in World Cup qualifiers. And then we did not get word that Nelson Blanco would get called up, and that's just because he's returning from his off-season surgery, and I don't think he's available for national team selection. So I think he'll still be with the squad. I don't know if he'll be available yet, and I'm not sure if he's available for selection. Well, obviously he's available for selection if the injury report's blank, so that's good. We did see him in training and photos released by the team on social media, so that'll be good. As for the roster for this match, I think it's going to be very similar to the first game. We don't have Yamos's track record as far as rosters go. We do know Marcina was not consistent in his lineups, which worked
Well,
for
he
him.
couldn't be. He couldn't be
Yeah,
because of injuries.
fair enough. But Yamosa, we'll see what the precedent is. This will be the second game. But in the first game, he had Richard Sanchez as goalkeeper, Reese Buckmaster as right back, and then center backs you had Alex Cernali and Mitch Tainer. Mitch Tainer's the captain. Left back, you
And
had Jimmy Madrana.
and also on the team of the week.
Also on the team of the week bench for last game. And then you had in the midfield, you had Almir Soto next to Nicky Hernandez. In front of them, Jorge Hernandez. And then in front of Jorge, you have the triumphant of Diogo Pacheco, who was on the team of the week. Um, you had Jake LaCava and then Juan Agudelo as the 9. Harry, how do you think Pittsburgh is going to line up? Do you think it's going to be similar lineup as their first game? And what was the result of that first game of the season? Obviously, we had a 1-0 win against Monterey Bay. How did Pittsburgh fare in their first game of the season?
So Pittsburgh had kind of mixed results. They had a 1-1 draw on the road, so this will be their second game on the road. They drew North Carolina. Both goals, I think, if you talk to both teams, were kind of odd goals. North Carolina scored when I think it was Beto Yaduk fell down, number 9, and left the goal pretty much wide open for that here. Pittsburgh scored on an error from North Carolina, so it ended 1-1 for that here. But looking at their lineup, they had Augie Williams up top, Jason Bure, number 18, Jorge Garcia, Robbie Mertz, which is Augustine, Augie Williams, and Mertz are probably their 2 biggest attacking threats. Daniel Griffin, Jackson Waddy, kind of in that back 2, and then the 4, Bossy, Yadrik, Suber, and E2 with Eric Dick, fan favorite of Toyota Field, makes his return back for that here. Just kind of looking at kind of just the metrics from the first game here, and we'll kind of go into it. They scored 1 goal. Their XG was 1.01. They had 9 shots, 5 shots on target. We had 1 goal, XG of 0.85. We had 14 shots, but 4 on target. So I think that's what you're going to see here tonight here, and of course, you can talk a little bit more about the analytics. When you're looking at their passing, it looks like it's a lot between the 2 center backs before they disperse up, where SanAntonio FC typically, and I know this is just one game to kind of go on, but one game, for them to go off with under Coach Lamosa, but they do quite a bit between the goalkeeper and the 2 center backs before going up. It seems like majority on the left hand side for that here to Jimmy, but your thoughts kind of on the makeups of the 2 styles that we're going to be facing tonight, or seeing tonight, pardon me.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be seeing Bob Lillyball And we'll see how Yamosa Ball counters Lily Ball. Lily Ball, historically stingy, very well organized, very strong defensively, and just tough to score against. And with Yamosa squad kind of
Did we lose you?
even admitting from him, they've kind of had a tough time with their chances. Uh, they've had a tough time with their chances, taking their chances in the final third, and then we're going to be countering against a Pittsburgh team that's kind of tough to score against. We'll see how that goes, and then we'll see how stingy SAFC's defense is. So it's going to be kind of an interesting thing. It's going to be, um, two immovable objects, and we'll see if any of the teams can score.
And then joining us from Germany is Der Schattenwolf. Greetings, early bird nerds. Am I mistaken here? No, it's still very early, 7:48 here in Texas. Sure, not adding my thoughts to the game, which align to Royce's thoughts about Pittsburgh. I think so. To me, I'm still a little bit interested to see how SAFC goes. And part of the reason why I say that is if you look at just the game flow for that here from SanAntonio FC, they controlled the entire first half with exception of a little blip here, and then you could kind of tell they backed off because if you look at their halftime, to me it's almost like they played it out, played out the game, against Monterey Bay. No offense to Monterey Bay, but they didn't really challenge, put much pressure on SanAntonio FC. They had a couple of opportunities, but nothing that, like, I wasn't worried. I don't know about you. Wasn't worried about SanAntonio not being able to finish out the game for that here. But to me, I'll be interested to see how Pittsburgh, because I do think Pittsburgh with Augie Williams does have a little bit more attacking presence up top. Obviously, and I know you're going to go into the GOAT Bob Lilly and how he's a master class, as far a tactician. But to me, I'll be interested to kind of see how Coach Lamosa in his second game going against one of the legends, how he matches up.
100%. And I completely agree with you. It'll be interesting. Monterey Bay, like we discussed, they had two forwards, and neither of them really got forward to get on crosses that their team put in. So, Augie Williams, one of the better forwards in USL, and he's going to be very dangerous. And we'll see how our defense stacks up against them. And like you said, definitely one thing to keep your eye out for, as fans, and to appreciate is the legend Bob Lilly being in our stadium. Bob Lilly is Ala Marcino is one of Bob Lilly's disciples,
Mm-hmm.
and expect Marcina Ball to go against Yamosa Ball tonight. It's basically what we're going to see. Bob Lilly, like I said, just a legend of coaching in the U.S. One of the American, just U.S. soccer legend, Bob Lilly. Absolutely appreciate that he's there. Give him a hand, win or lose, because that's a legend. You need, and
Mm-hmm.
don't know how much longer he's going to be. He's gonna be coaching, so it'll be cool to see him. Like I said, this is Yamosa's second game in charge as a head coach of a professional football club, and he's gonna go up against one of the legends of American football. So we'll see. We'll see how he fares, and it'll be interesting to see. Harry, what do you think? I guess let's go over score predictions. What do you think the score is going to be?
When I was on with Mongols, I said 1-0 SanAntonio. But it wouldn't shock me if it was like a 1-1 game for that here. Dershawn says the question is how well can you score and break down the good defense of Pittsburgh? You let some easy goals slip against the Monterey Bay last week here. And like that's first game. I think if you talk about both Pittsburgh and San Antonio FC, I think they both feel they could have had more opportunities, more scores put through. I will say I really liked how La Cava looked and how
Pacheco's.
Pacheco looked. Pacheco looked.
Mhm.
I think both of those played a really good game with Agudelo doing the dirty work. I guess you could kind of say in the middle for that here. They didn't really connect in the box where I think you can see Agudelo really excel. Um, but to me, and I know Mongols was, they predicted, a 3-1 win for Pittsburgh and a 2-1 win for their preview show. If you haven't watched it for that here. Good morning, Rafa. Matt, where's the breakfast talk? I don't know. Matt said he was up and then he
And then nothing.
disappeared.
I
And
know.
then a cheap shot at Aguilar 210. Hala Madrid. I don't want to get sidetracked here, but Rafa says 2-1 for San Antonio FC. Um,
I was gonna say 3-1 and 2-1 Pittsburgh is a very bold prediction, considering they had a tough time scoring against a North Carolina team that honestly isn't very good, and it's not going to be very good in the league this year.
yeah,
And they scored off a fluke, so mm, interesting,
yeah, it
interesting.
looks like here. It's they got their homer vision. Um,
Sure.
like I said here, to me, like I said here, if I was to, like I said here, if there's a team that's going to score multiple goals, I think it's San Antonio.
Right,
But I think that both teams with Tanner, Cronali, Swelhay coming in late in the game, especially if San Antonio is up, is going to be extremely hard to break down. Add
correct.
in Soto, who acts as a third center back already. I
Right,
think I
and
think
that
Pittsburgh's going to have a problem scoring personally.
right, yeah. Soto taking over kind of the Pekka role.
Mm-hmm.
For those that have been with SAFC for a while. Yeah. So my scoring prediction, um, I predict that there will not be a score. I think it's going to be a 0-0 draw. I think it's going to be just a defensively dominated match. Um, yeah, give me 0-0. Give me the draw. Pittsburgh gets a point at on the road.
So in this match, the very first one was 1-1 on September 4th of 2021.
Hmm.
The match that you went to October 1st of 2022, San
Hmm.
Antonio won 1-0.
Carter Manley winner.
Uh,
Yep.
August 26th of 23, so last year, uh,
2 years
oh
ago.
no, 2 years ago was 0-0.
I know. Trust me, I've
August
done that
10th
too.
of last year was 0-0.
Hmm.
So to me, there are 4 matches, 3 goals, 1 win, 3 draws. I just don't see these teams, you know, breaking down each other defensively. I
Correct.
think
And
I just think they're there now. Does that mean that one team won't score? No, I think through here, Rafa does bring up a factor of expecting 20 to 30-mile-an-hour winds with gusts of 40 miles. Could be a factor tonight. I would say it'd be more of a factor with Coach Marcina, where they
yeah,
were going more direct over here. Um, with this team here, where they can actually pass on the ground and work the ball up, I don't know if it impacts as much outside of set pieces. You mentioned that.
I think the biggest thing the wind's gonna affect. Yeah, I mean the biggest thing to mention is that Lily Ball does do kind of the Marcina thing, where they'll work it to their left center back, and their left center back will spray it to their forwards. So that might affect them more than us. I think the biggest factor that the wind's gonna play in is the crowd. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. People again, they'll show up for a little bit and leave, or I don't see it being a big crowd tonight just because of the wind. So
I don't know. I think it's going to be. Der Shadowwolf said, I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. Both teams will score, but Pittsburgh will look defensively more solid, but they can't score their chances. I think I think for San Antonio FC, I think that they have the higher potential to score multiple goals.
Agreed.
I just, to me, as I've said here, I think prediction wise here for that here. So I'm going San Antonio. I guess I should have put a draw as an option on here, but
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
that'd
gonna
have been
make
smart.
you pick. Or I guess I could leave it. Just change the color. You're going draw, so we will do red for draw.
Sure.
For here. So just kind of doing not score predictions, but who you think for that here?
Yep.
Switchbacks, Detroit, switchbacks at home.
Give me Detroit on the road.
No, well, I'm going switchbacks.
Okay, good.
I'm assuming we're both going Indy in their first game, or are you going Miami?
I'm not stupid, Indy. Well, some people may disagree with that. Yeah, correct.
No, we haven't seen Indy. Miami's played a game, so I think that is an advantage. So
Fair enough.
Charleston, Rhode Island. I think last year's Eastern Conference Final, if memory
Yep.
serves me right.
Charleston surely can't start the season 0-2, can they?
And Rhode Island hasn't played, so you're going Charleston?
I'm going Charleston.
I think I'm going draw
Okay.
on this one here. No Pedro as of yet. Tulsa and the Rowdies. Can the Rowdies go 0-2?
I know. Can the Rowdies start 0-2? What did Tulsa do in the first game?
They beat.
Right, they won, right?
They won. Did they play? They had.
Did they play
They beat
Vegas?
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
They
That's
beat
who they
Phoenix in Phoenix.
Give
So
me
this is the home
Tulsa.
opener. Yeah,
Give
I
me
think I'm
Tulsa.
leaning Tulsa as well.
That's wild.
El Paso and Rising. I'm
Yeah,
going
Phoenix.
draw.
Yeah, Phoenix looked really bad. El Paso didn't look bad, but at the same rate, you know what? Give me El Paso.
No. Monterey Bay and Oakland Roots.
Oh boy, this will be Oakland's first game. Give me Oakland.
No, Oakland played.
Did they play?
Played Orange County and got beat
Oh,
4 to
that's
2.
right, and they got smashed. Yeah, I wasn't. Give me a draw. Give me a draw.
I think
That's
I'm going
right.
to pick
They lost.
Monterey Bay. I'm going to pick Monterey Bay
Fair enough.
for that here. Ethan Bryant.
Sure.
New Mexico United and Las Vegas. Las Vegas won an ugly match. Well, they got a victory, so I guess it's not very ugly.
Yeah.
They withstood the pressure from Tampa Bay, and a gaff by Tampa Bay got them the goal.
Yeah.
So you going with
And
them?
then
I'm
and
going New
then
Mexico United.
and then New Mexico lost a really hard fart game with
that
Sacramento. So
that wasn't a red card. I don't care. It's a PK. If you're going to call
right,
it a PK,
right,
was not a red card, and that changed that game altogether. For here.
absolutely. Yeah, give me New Mexico.
And I will also say there are a lot of New Mexico fans there because the Mountain West basketball tournament is there.
Oh,
So I
nice.
know a lot
Sure,
were there. So it may be a semi home game for New Mexico United.
sure.
Uh,
And then give
Orange
me
County
this.
and Lexington.
Yeah, give me this as my the biggest blowout of the week. Orange County.
Yeah, they're my
Orange
luck.
County's going to put it on him. Yeah,
Everybody's all, Lexington. Yeah, Lexington beat Hartford in their
yeah,
first game.
correct.
And then I'm going Lou City. I do not trust the coaching. I do not trust the defense in Birmingham.
100%.
I think coaching. I think Birmingham needs to make a change, but they're here. So
I don't disagree. And yeah, Louisville in a cakewalk in Birmingham. Absolutely. So, all right,
So a
Harry.
couple of things here. Next week
Yeah,
match looks to be a good one. Yeah. So next week, Oakland has already sold over 18,000 tickets
that's so cool. That's so
for
cool.
against San Antonio at the
Yeah,
Oakland Alameda. So
in,
they'll
in the
most likely
Coliseum.
have over 20,000 in the game
Yep.
to see San Antonio.
In
That's why
the
they're really coming out.
Coliseum where the Athletics should still be playing. Correct.
That's where I saw my second game. I saw the Oakland A's back when I was in the military. Speaking about Texan, interviewed fellow Texan longtime Academy director and Hearts of Pine coach
Where'd you get fire out of that?
Bobby Murphy. Yeah, I've listened to that. And then Shadow Soccer Academy at Stevens, if it's physical school, was his academy for that here. And El Jesus, next week match looks to be good. And then he also, El Paso Tacos is churro. Aguilar went with a 1-0
Not
with
not churro, not churro. Very big
churro.
difference between those two words. Yep.
So El Jesus went 2-1. Aguilar went 1-0. And then we have our show picks here for that here. My final thought is, as I know we're trying to get out of here at under 30 minutes, is bracketology is going to be on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 8 o'clock kickoff. We're going to start at 4A on Monday, 5A on Tuesday, 6A on Wednesday for that here. So it should be lots of fun. A lot of work for me this weekend to be able to get the brackets and the prep for that here. But looking forward to that if you can tune in and support that. Also, like I said here, be safe tonight. Enjoy with the wind. And Matt, hope you have a good time. I know you're not going to be at the game tonight, but just be safe wherever you're going.
Absolutely, yeah. And to everybody going to the game tonight, definitely dress a bit warm. You know, with the wind as a factor, it's probably going to be 10 to 20 degrees cooler than the actual temperature. So just keep that in mind with a wind. There will be a wind chill factor. And then my final thought is congrats on a wonderful career, Conato Forbes, legendary defender in the USL. Announced his retirement earlier this week with Pittsburgh. Very cool. I remember this is gonna be a funny one, but when the pandemic hit and no one was sure when sports would come back, USL put together a Rocket League between, it was gamer fans from each team, and Pittsburgh decided to run Conato Forbes as their guy. So just cool dude.
Well,
Great
our buddy
career.
Edson
Like I
did
said, congrats.
RGV, so from
Well, there you go.
Win RGV. So yeah, and then we had
We had
a young
some kid.
prodigy
Yeah.
who did well.
Yeah, he got to the final, so absolutely, and he got crushed in the final by some
Some
dude who
other
obviously been
professional.
some dude who been playing for years, exactly. So it is what it is. But it was a cool memory, and like I said, congrats to Canardo. Big shout out. So that's all I got. Let's go SAFC. Hopefully we get a victory. Unfortunately, I am predicting a draw, but hopefully we get a victory today. We'll start off 2-0.
There's one of us that's a true fan, and one of us was Royce. I'll just leave it at that.
Wow. Well, I'm just a realist. I'm just a realist, brother. So everyone have a good night. Everyone be safe.
Good day.
What's life without goals? See you at the game tonight.
And we are